Hey team, this is our compensation plan video, and I'm going to try to explain how this compensation plan works in the easiest way possible so that those of you that are promoting and those of you that are planning on promoting understand a little bit more of what's going on and how this is done. Okay, first of all, we all start out as an essential consultant. Basically, that means you're brand new. You've just signed up and you have very little sales. Essential consultants get paid 20% no matter what. Um, it isn't until you hit that 1,000 when you hit certified, and I'm going to explain how that works just quickly here for those of you that don't understand. Certified basically means you hit $1,000 PRV and you now get your raise. It does not have to be in the same month, but I highly recommend that you do get it in the same month just because of the fact that that way you're going to see more money back right away. You're going to get paid your 25%. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Let's say you do certify in the same month. The following month when we run payroll, you will get paid that 25%. So it's not like you have to wait a month to get it or anything, because I know that's what most compensation plans do for other direct sales companies. We do not. So, and remember, PRV is $1 for every sale you make. That does not include sales tax. It does not include shipping. And there are a few items that you're going to have where you're only going to get paid a certain PRV on them that are charity items. Using Roosevelt the Rabbit as an obvious, I can't think this morning. Example. They cost $30, but we get paid $25 in PRV. So kind of keep track of that when you are doing your sales, because I'd hate for somebody to miss out certifying in a month by just $5 because they didn't realize Roosevelt they didn't get paid the full amount on. All right, next we're going to go up to lead consultant. That's where it starts getting exciting and you get more money and it gets more confusing. I'm sorry, but it does. Once you hit lead consultant, okay, lead consultant, you need to have $500 in PRV that month yourself. It has to be in that same month you promote, otherwise you're not going to get it. Your group wholesale volume needs to be 1,000, and I'm going to explain that in a minute because that's where people get confused and it gets kind of muddled up a little bit. You need to have one active frontline. Now we know what it means to be active. That means you have to have $150 in PRV a month in that month to be active. A frontline is somebody that you personally sponsored. So let's say I sponsored Jane and then Jane sponsored Judy. Well, Jane is my frontline. Judy is not. So remember that it has to be somebody you personally sponsored. Here we go. The group wholesale volume. This is where it gets kind of sticky. The group wholesale volume is figured out by your group's entire PRV minus 25%. So let's say you have 4 people on your team. You have 2 frontline, and each of your or one of your frontline has promoted somebody or sponsored someone as well. You also count as part of your team. So you'll notice that if it says like you have 5 in your team, that counts you as well. So let's say you have 4. You have Judy who's active, and you have Sammy who is not active that month, but Judy has Jane underneath her, and she's also active. You will get a total of all of their sales in your group wholesale volume. Doesn't matter if they're frontline or not. You are at the top of that tier, and anyone who is sponsored by you or sponsored by your sponsors and so on and down the line, those count in your group wholesale volume. Now remember though, you can have like 1,100 in PRV total for your whole group, but you do not have 1,000 group wholesale volume because you have to minus 25%. So the way I look at it is I always figure, okay, if I want to promote to lead consultant this month, I need to have a 500 PRV minimum myself. I also have to have another so much for my team, and I have to have one person active. I just in my mind say, okay, if I'm going to add 25% on that, that's going to be 1,250. I like to round it up just because you never know. I'm not great at math. Most people aren't. You know, if you're great at it, awesome. You can figure it out for me, but I'm not. So what I will do is I'll just round it up to say, well, you know what? I need like 1,300 for my team volume. That way I know I'm going to hit those numbers and I'm going to promote like I want to. Though you'll notice that 500 is pretty much the norm throughout for your PRV total. Scentsy does that because they feel like you should be selling as well. Not just your team promoting you, but you need to do some of the work yourself. I fully, wholeheartedly agree with that, and actually I think it should go up as the ranks go up, but it doesn't, and I don't make the rules, so be glad, because if I did, there'd be a lot of people that would have a hard time hitting those numbers, oh, excuse me, as they get higher up the compensation plan. But I'll just go with what it says. So we've kind of covered it. You have to have at least 500 in sales yourself. 1,000 group wholesale volume. Remember, that's minus 25% of your PRVs totaled, and at least one person active in your front line. So they have to be active that month. If you have more than that, great, but you at least have to have one. So what are you going to get? Well, now you've already certified, so you got your 25% that you're never going to lose. You're going to get a bonus of 2% on your own sales. So that's really nice. So then you're going up to 27% rather than 25. What's really nice, if you have 2,000 sales a month, and I don't know a lot of you knew this, and I didn't know it until I was in it almost a year. Once you hit 2,000 PRV a month, you get a bonus of 5% on your sales. So that's really, really nice. So you can get up to, if you have no team members at all, you can get up to 30% paid on your own sales. But let's say, okay, you do have a team, so you're going to get your bonus of 2%, and you're going to get a bonus of 2% off of your team's volume. And your team volume is counted as their wholesale volume and not their PRV. So remember, it's going to be minus that 25%. I'd asked once why they did that. You know, why did they minus that 25%? And the explanation to me was because that's what gets paid off the top to everybody. And it really did make sense to me. I mean, I realize some people won't be certified on your team, but you know what kind of deal it would be to figure that out. We'd get paid 5 months later by the time they sorted that all out. So for me, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But that's why our wholesale volumes are 25% less, because that's what people are getting paid. All right, let's go on to Star Consultant. Star Consultant, again, you're going to need your own 500 PRV. I recommend higher. I recommend you shoot for that 2,000 every month. Actually, if you hit 2,500 every month, you're going to get, on average, you're going to get that sales award at the end of the year. And I will be doing another video on awards, because I think some of you are going to be really getting close to doing stuff like that. All right, you need a 2,500 group wholesale volume. So remember, that's going to be whatever your entire group is. You're at the top of the little tree, and all the branches below you are your group or your team. That 25, you're going to take their total volume minus 25%. Now, when you look in your workstation, one of the nice things you're going to notice is when they show the GWV or group wholesale volume, it already has that 25% taken off. So it really does take a lot of this major math out of your brain, and you don't need to worry about it. But I'm just mentioning it here, and you'll notice I'll repeat it just because some people may not catch it right away, and that's fine. I'd rather be clear and have you all understand me. So you're going to need, like I said, that 2,500 and 2 active frontline consultants. They have to be active the same month. So you need all of this in the same month. You cannot do it in, like, June you have 500, and then this month you have, no. It's got to be all. Let's say you're doing it in August. It's got to be all in August. You're going to get your 25% or 30 if you've had your over 2,000 in sales that month. And you're going to get a 4% bonus on your own personal. So, now you're going, this is starting to add up a little bit. And you can see where as you roll up the line here, you're going to be making a lot more money. These percentages really add up. Just take my word for it. It's shocking sometimes. I don't want to get too deep into this yellow section because it does get confusing. But once you hit the star consultant level, you'll notice how things kind of break off, and they'll have on here frontline essential or certified consultant, frontline lead consultant, frontline star consultant, and so on. I'm not going to get into that right now because it's going to get really long. That's something that for those of you that are promoting, I'm going to do another video to explain it because it gets kind of confusing at times, but you'll understand. We're going to go to Superstar Consultant next. We have a few of you that are getting close to that level as well. 500 in retail volume. You need 6,000 in your group wholesale volume. And you're going to need 3 active frontline. So, you know, you think, oh my gosh, it's really a jump from star to superstar. It is, but really, I noticed for me, the month that I hit star consultant, I thought, oh my gosh, that was so hard to hit those numbers. I think we had like 2,600 and something in group volume. The next month, I hit superstar consultant. And we had, it was funny because we had, I hope that doesn't show up on there, my little thing popped up for my email. But we hit that 6,000 actually fairly easy, which was kind of crazy. Once we went trucking past that 2,500, I thought, what the heck? That was so hard last month. But the difference is we added more team members. Yes, if you want to hit Superstar Consultant and you only have 3 frontline active people and that's all you have is 3, it's going to be hard. It really is. It can happen. I'm not going to say it ain't, but it's going to be hard. You need to keep recruiting. Really, my thought is if you want to be at any of these levels, you need to have a plan. And for me to be like a lead consultant, I would say you want to have probably 4 people on your team, and you count as part of your team. Okay? So for me, I would say 4 people for lead. For star, you're going to probably want 8 to 10. And then for superstar, you're going to be probably, I would say 15 to 20. That way you know, when you hit those numbers, you're going to do it every month for the most part. You're not going to have, a freak month where you hit superstar consultant and then after that, you never hit it again because it gets kind of depressing. You're not going to lose your title, no, but you really, once you get that 1 month with that pay, you want it every month because it's actually pretty nice. So for superstar though, you're going to get a bonus of 7%, which is awesome. I mean, that's when you start going, wow, we're really starting to make some money here, especially if you're hitting your 2,000 a month. And that also helps with these numbers. Remember, your total volume counts in your group wholesale volume. So if you're hitting your 2,000 a month, that's helping your volume and your group wholesale volume, and that's giving you more money in your pocket. You're going to get that 5% extra. So instead of 25, you're getting 30, and then you're going to get that 7% bonus. And so instead of 30%, you're going to be getting 37%. Now, even if you don't get that extra 2,000, get that 2,000 and you're at 25, you're still getting 32%. That's a pretty good chunk of money, especially when you figure there's plenty of other direct sales out there that some of them they're starting at 30% and they're doing this and that, but you have to cover all your hostess benefits. We don't. You're getting it. That's money in your pocket. So if you look at it that way, it really, really starts adding up. The last one I'm going to cover is director. Again, if you want to hit director, I was saying 15 to 20 for superstar consultant. I'm going to say, you want 25 to 30 minimum. It can be done without. I did it with 12. I don't recommend it. It was very, very stressful. It was hard to hit numbers. We had to start really recruiting our butts off to keep those numbers up there. So you definitely want to do that. But again, you need your 500. I don't think that's enough to me. I think as a director, you should be doing at least 1,000 a month, but that's my opinion. you're going to need a group wholesale volume of 10,000. So again, you might as well figure you're going to need 13,000 in sales with your whole group. Now, this 2,000 team wholesale volume, we're going to ignore this for now. This only comes into effect if you have another director break off of your team. And it does happen sometimes when one person promotes. Like, I'm going to use Jenny as an example because Jenny and Tanya are both doing really well, and Tanya's and Jenny's downline. Let's say Tanya was doing really great and she promoted to director, and that pushed Jen up to director. That's where that 2,000 is going to come in. So I'm not going to explain it right now because I think it's just going to get really, really confusing. But just know this is what you need. You're going to need active 3 frontline again. I think that's really low too, but that's my opinion. Then this starts getting pretty exciting. You're getting your 25 or 30% depending on what your sales are for that month. You're getting a bonus of 9%. So now at this point, if you're hitting your 2,000 a month in sales, you're getting 39%. That's a lot. If you really start figuring that out, that's a good chunk of money. It really is. I mean, let's say if we have 2,001 times our 39%, hang on, that is $780.39. Yeah, let that sink in a little bit. $780.39. That's if you're going to get your extra 5%. You can do it without, and that's fine because then you're going to get your 34%. See what we got for that. Oops. 34%. Then you're getting 680.34. So you're missing out on $100. That's, $100 is groceries. So now that's just your sales. That's not your entire team. That's just what you're getting paid on yourself. If you start adding your team volumes in there, and again, I'm not going to go into these yellow zones because it gets crazy, confusing, but you start adding that up. I can tell you one thing, that most months, and well, pretty much every month, I get paid more on the team's volume than I do on what my sales are. So yeah, the average director will make $1,200 to $1,400 a month. That's Scentsy's averages. I'm not in the average zone. I'm higher than that. Now there's months that I've had crappy months, yes, and then my totals have been lower. But on the average, I'm averaging $1,800 a month for being a director. I know once you get up to those star and superstar directors, those numbers go crazy. I know as a superstar director, the average superstar director, when they're hitting their numbers, mind you, they got to be hitting their rank numbers. They're at the low end is 14,000. Yeah. So, we'll just let you think about that one. So as you can see, this is why our compensation plan actually is pretty awesome. You can make some really serious money. And the nice thing is, you don't have to put out a ton of money yourself. Obviously, I do team awards and incentives, stuff like that. I'm not spending my whole paycheck on that. I look around, I find good deals on things, try to make things when I can. Stock up on like the mini scent testers, the transition set, when they're on sale. So stuff like that. But I hope that you guys understand a little bit more of how this works and what you're going to get when you get to those upper levels and how to get there and the understanding of that. So if you have any questions, please ask. I'm here for you guys. And good luck. And I'm really excited to see how well we do this fall and to cheer you on with those promotions. I'm so excited for everybody. Okay, bye guys.